Definitely the Chick-fil-A Bowl. Oh, that was just so awesome, twirling in the Georgia Dome. And, you know, sometimes we would be, especially with the guard, we were really close with a lot of girls in the guard, especially our third year when the Chick-fil-A Bowl happened. And they would always, you know, we would be going through the show on the field of the Georgia Dome, and, you know, they would just shout out things like, keep it up, girls, or something. And then, you know, we were close with a lot of people on the drum line, and, you know, just different section leaders of different sections, and it was just cool to be a part of that trip, and we just felt like we were on this, like, long field trip, and I don't know, it was really cool to just spend that kind of time with the band, because normally you don't get that length of time with the band, except for at band camp, and we all know emotions are very high that week.
Definitely, but, I mean, going off of that, other than the excitement and the adrenaline on the field, I really look forward to band camp every year, especially skit night. We always get a little crazy, but, you know, there's no hard feelings, and I think that's the best part.
Well, sometimes.
Sometimes.
Then you have to get over it.
Yeah, you do have to get over it, but...
And then Halloween, the Halloween nights were always really fun. Sometimes we didn't participate, but it was really funny to see, like,
somebody dressed up as us for,
oh yeah,
Halloween.
Leah Garofalo and Christina, how do you say her last name still? Mataliano? I don't know. But anyway, that was so much fun, and we got to see them kind of impersonate us.
I was impressed.
I was impressed too. That was probably one of my most memorable moments, was watching that. And I don't even think we dressed up that night. We were just like, let's just let them take it away. So that was fun. Brittany and I would nap, like, up until the time we had to leave our apartment to get to practice. And, like, sometimes it'd be like the minute we were supposed to be at practice. And we would show up on time, but it was like we would nap, like, right after class. We got out of class like 2 or 3 o'clock. We took, like, a straight, like, 3-hour nap before band practice. It was awesome. And so I think we always look pretty put together, and so I think that's one thing that people would never assume. There were, like, the occasional Fridays when we would go out before the band got there, and we would have practiced for, like, an hour or two just to make sure we were ready for game day. But yeah, we liked our pre-band practice naps, for sure.
We were talking about Kirby with the Furby, and I don't know. I can't remember the rap. I really wish I could, but I think that was the time, the moment I knew I could actually be myself with these band kids.
Yeah.
Because it was definitely a crazy moment.
Oh yeah, Kirby's rap. That's what started
Kirby's
it all.
rap.
That's how Brittany became known as the
Crazy,
obnoxious, don't really care what I'm doing, but I'll do it if I'm dared twin. Yep. Yeah.
Oh, I got it. Beyonce's Green Light.
Oh, Green Light. Do you want to?
So one night, I don't know why we didn't do what was planned. I think it was
So You Think You Can Dance night, but it rained out, remember? Or something.
Oh, no, that's what happened.
No, we ended up doing So You Think You Can Dance, but it was like the pool party night or something.
That's right.
And so we had this So You Think You Can Dance night, and we were so angry because, like, the points didn't even count towards the points for the band camp.
And we really needed those points because the color guard just didn't. They just didn't have it then. But I think it was just a fun night because I think nobody knew we were going to come out there and dance like that. And
well, Brittany just decided to...
Oh, I choreographed the entire thing. Most of it.
And then we went back to... We kind of, like, snuck away for a little bit. Well, no one knows this, I guess, till now. But we kind of, like, snuck away to our apartment and got every single black and white article of clothing and all of my pageant heels that were all black. So I think I had like 14 pairs of black heels. So some of the color guard that decided to dance made it work, and they put the heels on, their little white shorts and black shirts, and we were having a good old time. And then Brittany decided to, like, crawl through people's legs, and
we made it pretty unique.
that's a good word.
Interesting.
Yeah. But that was definitely the most fun that we've had, I think.
A band camp.
Mm-hmm. The Disney show, Under the Sea. Audrey, Brittany, and I choreographed a routine to Under the Sea, and it was probably one of our most difficult routines to do like timing wise, and we had to kind of fit in with the big fish in the band. Remember that? And then
I think
we did fire after that, so that was really cool.
That was cool.
Yeah, it was an awesome show. I really missed that. I love that show.
I think one of the greatest moments about that show is that when we finally got the timing, we were like, oh my god, yes! Because when you're twirling, you have counts, but you don't know, how many measures are in, like we don't read music, so it's really hard for us to incorporate our choreography with how long the band is gonna play.
Audrey was good at that. And
yeah.
then I think by our 4th year, we finally got the hang of it.
Yeah.
It took a while.
But I think that was the greatest part when we, hit that last note and they ended their note and we ended our pose and we were like, let's see if we can do it again.
The Michael Bublé show was really good too.
That was my favorite
We
show.
had some really unique sections that we made up for that show. I think we had like 2 weeks to learn the show or something, so Brittany and I had a lot of practice time. And I just really liked the transition from like the feeling
sway,
good
yeah.
into sway and all of that. So that was really fun. And then our country show, we liked that one too with Jason Aldean and Summer Nights, and that was cool.
I can't really pick a favorite show.
I know. They were all really special.
I think what was most unique is that we got the opportunity to...
our last show. Sorry, keep going.
Well, we got the opportunity to do a different show at every game.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't, not many universities do that. So.
Yeah.
And our last show.
Our last show was like a flawless no drop. It was just such a good way to leave, the field and to,
have
leave
that
those
memory.
Mm-hmm. It was just a flawless performance, and I don't ever say that about our performance because I always find something to nitpick about.
Especially because the show before that, or 2 shows before that, we got the fire out, and like it was the most awful memory of my band experience. But we got the fire out, and I just completely froze. Like I had no idea what I was doing. Victoria tossed the fire to me, and I was like, I forget what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so that's why, like, during the last show, we got the fire out, and, like, those memories came back, and I was like, no!
That was one of our most difficult shows, too, trick-wise. The last show that we ever performed, we were doing cartwheels, and, catching behind the back, and doing, like, illusions, and leaping to other sides, and our timing had to be on, like, just perfectly. And Diane was on the side watching the whole thing, and I think that was very, very comforting to know that she was there the whole time. And I think Jacob and Amy kind of took a back seat that game because they knew that was like our last moment, and they didn't really ask anything from Diane because they realized we really wanted to have that moment with her, and so we really appreciate because they're gonna want to have those moments too.
And walking on the field with the drum majors, that was a great memory too.
With Kemper and Aurelia. Yeah, because Steph was a 3rd year, and Cameron was the 3rd year too. So, yeah, that was fun. We have so many memories of like actually being on the field. Oh, remember that one time we were at the game and we went out on the field for halftime, and there were these guys, and they had like twins written all on their chest. And after we finished the halftime performance, we had like a no drop or something. It was just an awesome feeling. It was a day game, so it was brutally hot.
And when the hashtags were really in
it was
Twitter.
like hashtag twinning, and then everybody like showed up like twins gear or something. It was really weird but totally awesome at the same time. And they wanted to take a picture with us, and we're like, well, how do we get up there? So there's like this cop like over here, like one of the officers that obviously watch everything that goes on the field. And next thing you know, he's helping us up, but like I'm holding these hands of these guys who just like are breathing drunk breath on me, and I'm like, are you drunk? And they're like, no. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that you are. And they're like, we promise, we swear we're not. So like they're like helping us up. We finally got the picture, and then I realized like when we're walking away, this guy's like falling down, like obviously passed out from being belligerently wasted. And so the cop's just like shaking his head, and he's like, "Are you all right?" And we're like, "Yes, sir." That's
the picture was really cool, though. The picture turned out really great.
There's always been this really cool cop. We never got his name, but he always thought we should have graduated like by 2nd year. He's like, "Y'all are still here? Haven't y'all graduated already?" And I'm like, "No, we're 4th years. Like, it was our first game." He's like, you coming back next year for a super senior? And I'm like, no.
Yeah, there were a lot of people
that thought we should
have
graduate
that were like, aren't you old?
Old?
Old? Shouldn't you have graduated by now? I'm like, no.
It was fun. Oh, the stick figures, for sure. When they kick the football, the stick figures, and they kick the football. It's just really like the stick figures. Like, everyone went crazy over the stick figures. Mm-hmm. And then the color guard was like the football, so like that was cute. And then we just kind of were like prancing around. Oh, we were the eyes! We were the eyes of the stick figures.
The eyes of the stick figure.
Yeah, that was like our easiest show because we literally just had to walk and like twirl. And we just had to keep walking. It was fun though.
It was fun. But then you look up on WhoVision and it looks so cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. That's definitely my favorite. My favorite visual was the stick figures.
My favorite memory was when when everyone did rush the field. I think it was either the Georgia Tech or the Miami game. I can't remember, but I think it was Georgia Tech. And the football players came over and conducted our band, and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool! Like, they like the band. I feel like it sort of gradually happened.
The first year was just the first part.
It was like,
and then like the second year, it was just like that. And we're like, well, we just put them together, and then we always thank like God before we go out on the field. So like for this opportunity, and so that's kind of what like the point to this sky is like. But yeah, and
there was a fan though that Facebook messaged us and said, I noticed your secret handshake before you go out in the field, and I was like, oh wow, people actually look at that.
Brittany and I were just like, all right, real quick, and we'll do it because we forgot to do it in the tunnel, and we ended up like every moment from then on out doing it on the field, which was pretty cool because we used to just do it in the tunnel and just kind of like our own thing, and then we would tend to forget, and then we're like, why don't we just make it a field thing? So we did our 4th year, and it was pretty cool.
Our first experience twirling fire was during high school.
We twirled on the track, so we weren't a part of the band performance, but we got to twirl first, second, and fourth quarters when the band was in the stands and when they were just playing stand tunes. So that was cool that we got to experience that early on. It's definitely exhilarating. It's kind of funny because when people would come up to us in class or just like, you know, walking grounds or something, and they'd be like, are you the twirler? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm one of the twins. And they're like, so are you twirling fire? And I'm like, yeah, we're gonna twirl fire this weekend. And you know, you could tell them, oh yeah, I've won 6 world championships and a national championship, and Brittany and I just we both caught a triple the other day simultaneously in practice. Do you twirl fire? I'm like, yes, we're twirling fire. Sweet, I'll get all my friends. You know what I mean? Like, you could be like the most competitive, like nationally ranked #1 twirler, and they don't care as long as you twirl fire.
Yeah, that's definitely true. But we're UVA, and most of our game times were noon, 3:30. Couldn't really bring out the fire, but we did it anyway sometimes. We were like, the people want it, so we'll just twirl it.
It was
noon.
Fun. Yeah. It was awesome. For like 95% of the time, it went the way it was supposed to go, so it was awesome.
And it's definitely the adrenaline kicking in. In practice, we're scared to death. Like, we are worried that, our arm hair's like, coming off.
It's also like you have to adjust to where the sun is. Are you being shadowed in the sun and the wind?
Right.
And is it going to rain that day? So it totally messes up your entire show if it's too... Remember the one time when Audrey tried to light the fire and it was too windy outside? We kept trying to light it and it wouldn't work. So we had to make up this whole routine on the fly, the 3 of us. And it was crazy. And it was just like, we didn't feel good about it. Everyone said we did great, but we just wanted to freaking twirl fire.
It was a really windy game.
Yeah, it
That
was.
game was pretty windy.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, it's exhilarating.